million-dollar licenses for Guyanese fishermen, sharp decline in exports, and talks continue with farmers in path of gas pipeline. I am Enrico Belfort, and this is Uncut News. You see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. Apparently, that big fishing issue our government had with Suriname over fishermen licenses has not yet ended. Fishermen in Guyana are concerned about a proposed increase in fees for the rental of Surinamese SK fishing licenses. Currently, Guyanese operators must pay as much as $3,000 to rent the license from Surinamese citizens, but this fee is set to rise to $5,000 in March. Guyana had hoped to secure more than 100 SK licenses directly from the Surinamese government for its boat owners, but this has not yet happened. The increased fee is likely to impact the profitability of the fishing business in Guyana, as local operators will have to park their boats in Suriname and sell their catch there, rather than in Guyana. 6 of the 11 weapons that were stolen from a security company in Georgetown have been recovered by police investigators. 2 of the weapons were found on Friday during a police operation that resulted in the arrest of the main suspect, an employee of the security company Radar Security. 4 more weapons were found on Saturday when the suspect led investigators to an Alboystown property where they were being kept. The weapons were stolen from the security company's office between Christmas night and Boxing Day morning. The investigation is ongoing. This morning, Anthony Charles was shot multiple times on Turpin Street in Georgetown by an unknown individual who fled the scene in a silver-gray Allian car with a fake license plate. The victim was walking with a man named Dexter Lawrence when the shooting occurred, and Lawrence received an injury to his hand during the incident. The police are continuing their investigations. An 18-year-old man named Cam Thomas drowned in a lake in Linton in the company of his friends over the weekend. Thomas and one of his friends were swimming in the lake when he started to have difficulties and went underwater. The friend attempted to rescue him but did not resurface. An alarm was raised and the police were called to the area, but Thomas's body has not yet been found. Divers were called to search for the body. There are safety concerns about the Karakara Blue Lake, as it is actually an open, mined-out area with sudden drops and quicksand beneath the water. It's a new year. How about you make your truck run like new with Powered Automotive? Powered Automotive had truck parts and spares from all the major brands you know and love at prices you won't find anywhere else. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles or call or WhatsApp them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. You can multiply your cash by selling Digital Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Exports from Guyana fell from 68.1% in 2021 to 16.8% in 2022, according to a report from the IDB. The decline in the value of goods exports from Latin America and the Caribbean, which was estimated to have increased by 18.8% in 2022, was mainly due to higher prices, while volumes declined. The export growth rate is expected to slow in the coming months due to falling commodity prices, the conflict in Ukraine, restrictive monetary policies to reduce inflation, and slowing global growth. Exports from South America grew by 18.2% in 2022, Mesoamerica by 18.8%, Central America by 13.6%, and the Caribbean by 38%. Enrique Liven, an IT officer for GCOM, refused to testify at an ongoing inquiry into the electoral fraud during the March 2020 general and regional elections. Liven is facing criminal charges for electoral fraud and has exercised his right to remain silent to avoid potentially implicating himself. The inquiry has evidence that Liven was involved in fraudulent activities at the elections headquarters on March 5, 2020, and Liven acknowledged this evidence. He was involved in a flash drive scandal on that date and is alleged to have worked with the returning officer of Region 4, Claremont Mingo, to inflate vote counts and give APNU a victory. Liven was charged with fraud in August of 2020. Several other figures implicated in fraudulent activities have also refused to testify at the inquiry. Brad Pittman, also known as DJ Viper, was murdered by 3 men who confronted and attacked his father-in-law while the two were drinking at a shop in Laluni, Sussex Linden Highway. When Pittman intervened, he was stopped several times and suffered severe injuries, including the severing of his thumb, index finger, and middle fingers, and a deep chop wound to the back of his neck. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. One of the suspects is currently in police custody. 3 women are currently set to face trial for the lesser charge of manslaughter for the deaths of their partners. Lisa Haley is accused of stabbing to death her partner in self-defense. Melissa Silas is accused of strangling her reputed husband after he allegedly physically abused her. And Dacia Bourne is accused of beating her common-law partner to death. All 3 cases involve allegations of abuse by the deceased partners. The trials are set to begin at the Demerara Criminal Assizes Court on Tuesday. Now for today's oil update. As negotiations continue with some landowners in the pathway of the Wales Gas to Shore project, the majority have accepted proposals put to them, with some choosing relocation instead of monies. The Attorney General said, quote, "The owners were duly consulted and negotiated consensual arrangements. They were arrived at, with most of them, and their agreements are now being drawn up and discharged in accordance with the terms and conditions agreed upon. Some persons have accepted monetary compensation, while others have opted to accept land at alternative locations of comparative value." End quote.
As an independent online news entity, being politically objective can cost you a lot of money in lost sponsorship opportunities. That's because most local companies are often too scared to associate themselves with a news entity that is uncompromising with the truth. We do appreciate our sponsors, as their support is what has allowed us to maintain our integrity without fear and remain dedicated to you, our viewers. Every night, thousands of viewers rely on Uncut News because they are tired of the biased and poorly presented mainstream media in Guyana. But to truly compete, we need your help to grow Uncut News from being the most watched online news to the most watched news in Guyana, period. Help us by becoming a monthly subscriber today. There are special rewards at every subscription level, including your name in the credits, personalized gifts, and more. Your monthly contribution helps us to stay independent by spending less time worrying about paying the bills and more time on keeping you informed. So click the link in the description of this video and become a subscriber today.
Robbery season might be over, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's latest car on sale. Currently on sale is this 2016 Toyota Crown Athlete. It comes with Bluetooth, mount rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, spot camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $9.95 million. All pay as low as $1.99 million down, with around $170,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info. Visit their showrooms at Lot 171, Peter Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2, Lama Street, and tell them that we can send you for this sweet deal. Now for our Uncut News Viewers Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how your favorite place was. On Friday, I ask, what is a subject that you think is not getting enough attention? But before we get to that, I'd like to say a special thank you to our 2 paid supporters, Dion Nascimento and David Griffith. Thank you for your support, as it is what helps us bring you the news every evening. Dimitri V says that they noticed that a lot of the security officers for businesses are actually senior citizens, and people wonder why these places are easy to rob. Physically demanding jobs should have an age cap, so that way people well into their 60s and over should not be able to participate in these jobs, in my opinion. You know, there's actually a long story behind that, but, well, we'll get into that on another stupid news. And Jay Jairam says, entertainment. We need to give major attention to our entertainers, our talent. We should look to create a GT award. Guyanese are born to be stars. For example, Eddie Grant, Letitia Wright, Shakira, Crane, Wright, and many, many more. I agree with you 100%. We need to support our arts and culture. Now for tonight's question. According to the police, violent crime has been decreasing in Guyana. How do you feel about that statistic? Do you believe it's getting any worse, any better, or about the same? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.